Hey guys, Sen here. Today I'm going to be showcasing the 4 levels of swag that one can achieve in the clan capital, so this is going to be a good one. Kicking things off, we have the level 1 swag, and at this level, the players here are still responsible human beings who opt to use most of their spells for their troops. But that is soon going to change. We kick things off with a Barbarian to clear some clan houses, and then 2 Rocket Balloons to push through that first Mega Hit Tesla and Rapid Rocket, and then 2 more Rocket Balloons on either side with a Ram to tank the Inferno Tower and clear those 5 defenses. Those Rocket Balloons are still going to have a little bit more juice to go forward, get their death damage on the Inferno Tower, as well as one of them is able to get an attack off, and so that Inferno Tower is low. We can drop in 2 more packs of Rocket Balloons to one-shot that Inferno Tower, and then they'll also grab that bomb tower for me, so I just drop in a Ram to tank first, that first rocket artillery shell, and then we just drop in those 2 rocket balloons to take those things out. Afterwards, we're going to drop in 1 pack of archers to snipe that spear thrower, and you're going to see it's going to open up my deployment towards this cannon, and I'm going to time those 2 rocket balloons for when the archers leave their stealth, and so that rocket artillery shoots at my archers and not the rocket balloons. Now, once that rocket artillery is cleared, I see that there is a huge section of this base that's not being covered by slash defenses anymore. And I also figure that because there's no rocket artilleries, high value defenses there, that side of the base isn't going to be very well trapped, and so I figure I don't have to bring too many more Rams to help tank for those Larrys. They're just going to be able to get huge value by dropping in a couple in and taking out all of those point defenses for me. So at this point we're going to speed things up because it's just those Larrys going in and taking out whatever they can. And yeah, at this point we haven't reached the level of degeneracy where we're going to be dropping swag heals on the first attack. We're still responsible, and we're going to be dropping the first heal on top of the bomb tower and rocket artillery, and then the second heal leading up to the other rocket artillery. And let's see how we're able to finish off this base with our Hog Raiders. So, to start off this finishing attack, we're going to drop in 2 packs of rocket balloons towards the Inferno Tower, and that's going to serve a lot of different purposes. First of all, once that Inferno Tower goes down, we can now drop in a Ram, and it will target this wall, and so we can drop in a P.E.K.K.A. towards this air bombs, and it will go in and assassinate this rocket artillery, and also tank for the other rocket artillery for me as I sneak in my Hog Raiders to help take that thing out before they all get blasted by the rocket artilleries, which are super nasty towards Hogs. That heal spell I dropped earlier also heals my Hogs through that first giant bomb, and because we took out that Inferno Tower, this bottom side also isn't well covered in terms of air defenses, so I can just drop in 1 pack of rocket balloons to trade that spear thrower, and those pack of rocket balloons is going to go forward and just have free reign over the base basically. It's going to clear a cannon, a multi-cannon, and most importantly a crusher, so my Hogs are going to get hit hard by that. And so yeah, we are just swarming the rest of the defenses on the base. We dropped in 1 more heal to get those Hogs through a bunch of the defenses as well as the crusher. But yeah, we have a lot of Hogs left, and there's not many defenses left on this base. There's actually a Troll Tesla on the top side, but Hogs are pretty fast, and we have a good number of them to help take that out on the back side. And yeah, this base is as good as done. We even have 1 more heal on the camps, and yeah, at this point it's not too late to turn back. When you're at this point and you have a swag heal left in the camps and your Hogs are low and they can get blown up by traps at any time, you can easily just drop those heals on your Hogs. But if you have watched a Sen FGR video, you know that that is not the place where the heal goes. The heal goes towards the river, and you have begun your descent into madness. Once you see this beautiful sight, there is no turning back, and it's all downhill from here. Up next, we have level 2, and we are once again up against a Balloon Lagoon, but this time I have a really sick trick planned. You might be looking down at my troop bar, wondering why is there a Super Dragon there? In fact, 2 of them there, and you're going to see in a moment. So the Super Dragon has splash damage, and so when a bunch of 2x2 buildings are touching like this, the Super Dragon can melt them all. So I'm going to send in a Larry Barrel to help tank as I drop in a Super Dragon in behind. I do it on both sides, and you can see how fast those Super Dragons under Rage are going to melt through this base. Just with 2 Super Dragons, they're going to take out that entire front section with a rocket artillery and grab 30% of the base in under 10 seconds. So yeah, with that just little bit of tanking that the Larrys provide, those Super Dragons can go in and just wreck the base when it's set up like this and so many defenses are touching. Obviously, most defenders are going to space their buildings out a little bit to where that trick won't work, but when you find a base like this that it does work against, this is almost as satisfying, maybe even more satisfying than the Super Wizard bombs, because the dragons just melt down everything. So at this point, we're just trying to pick off whatever we can with the troops we have left. And yeah, this base is in a lot of trouble, because all that is really left on this base is a rocket artillery that the defender hasn't even put in the base yet. So we are just going to try to swarm the rest of this base with Hog Raiders, making sure that we stun these 2 Crushers and this Inferno Tower with our Hog Gliders so that they don't do too much damage to our Hogs. But once our Hogs cut through this compartment with all these Spear Throwers and air defenses left in it, we are going to have 2 Skeleton Barrels to send towards this octagon of Hogs with this Mega Hidden Tesla. And those skeletons, provided they don't run into too many traps and there aren't too many gaps in this section for traps anyways, those skeletons are going to do such a great job in distracting all of those cannons so that my Hog Raiders can sneak in, take them out without taking too much damage. We even have a P.E.K.K.A. for the back end to tank the rocket artillery and go in to take out the cannon and spear thrower, as well as a ram to break her inside if she ever so chooses. And at this point, you can see this base is crushed. We have a hog and a ram left in the camps, and we, as cultured individuals, dropped in our 2 heals on the river. Those rivers look mighty healthy. We are now approaching big boy swagging territory with level 3, and at this point you are no longer able to use all of your spells for your troops on either of your 2 attacks. You have to swag at least 1 heal per attack. Let's see how we can get this done. So we are coming in with our giants and cannon carts. I have actually had a huge change of heart on the raid cart in the clan capital as of late, especially since Friday's stream a couple days ago where I used cannon carts against a builder's workshop there as well, and those cannon carts got so much value. So what I have learned with this troop is that they do really well against these big open sections of the base that don't have that much single target fire, and they can just push through so many big high value splash defenses like the giant cannons as well as the blast bow, as long as you provide the proper tanking for them. And the way you do that is you don't send in all of your giants at once like most people do. You're going to drop in your giants one at a time to tank all of the defenses necessary, and don't drop too many at once, because then they're just going to get splashed down by, say, the giant cannon all at once, and you're going to get less value out of the tanking. You only care about the tanking from the giants. You don't need them to do damage. The damage is going to be done by your cannon carts and a couple of barbarians that you're going to bring, as well as some of your rams as well. I drop in a rocket balloon on the top side to clear that spirit thrower, because I see that once they work down, they're also going to grab the multi-cannon before they get hit down by the air bombs. And so I get huge value out of those rocket balloons. And those cannon carts also did some serious work on this base. They were able to push through 3 giant cannons and a blast bow with just 1 rage. So you can see, as long as you can control your cannon carts really well, they can do a really good job. Even though archers probably could have done the same thing, those archers probably would have to taken about 2 rages to get through that. And we are at level 3, and we can no longer afford to be bringing 2 rages on our attacks. We're now working our way in, because also we achieved really good hog pathing from the last attack, because it's just like a narrow strip of defenses that the hogs have to work through. I tanked for the giant cannon that's remaining and the multi-mortar with a P.E.K.K.A. to push its way in. And then we have a couple of Larry barrels to distract for the back-end defenses. We have so many hogs pushing through, and we made sure we dropped in a couple of rams further in to make sure that there wasn't too many log traps or other traps that were going to be splashing our hogs. And so yeah, with that last Larry barrel cleaning up that bottom side cannon and that last pack of hog raiders on that top side cannon, we are collapsing in on those last few defenses, and we just need to figure out how we drop our heals. We just drop them on that same river, one on the top, one on the bottom. we have approximately covered half of the surface area of river on this Builder's Workshop with our 3 heals, but we aren't even done yet. Let's fast forward through this cleanup. Our hogs are actually going to run into a lot of traps over here, but they're going to be able to get the job done. And let's go on to level 4. Now, last but certainly not least, we have level 4. I start off dropping a Barbarian to help clear some clan houses, but you can see a Zap Trap, a Log Trap, and a Mega Hint Tesla all pop to gang up on that poor Barbarian. And so I drop in a Raid Cart, you see, directly on top of that Mega Hint Tesla, so I can use those Barbarian from the Raid Cart to just tank the shots from the Mega Hint Tesla. That thing fires really slowly, so those Barbarians do a great job at distracting that. And you're going to see just how many traps are down here. Already 2 Log Traps and 2 Zap Traps have popped. Another Zap Trap is going to pop on the other Cannon Cart. And we're just working our way into the base now. We send in a ram to help open up the wall. A Log Trap pops. A Small Bomb pops. Another Zap Trap pops. Another Small Bomb pops. Now we're dropping in a couple of Giants to tank for those Raid Carts. Our Raid Carts are already kind of low because of the Zap Trap. We have to be very careful. Another Zap Trap pops as they open up the bottom wall to get a Giant in there to tank the Giant Cannon and also tank for a Barbarian that I'm going to send on the Spirit Thrower to take that thing out. After that Giant dies, the Barbarian is going to be able to take out the Spirit Thrower and then tank for the Giant Cannon even further. I even dropped a Larry Barrel up top where there wasn't any splash defenses firing because the Giant Cannon here is distracted. And those Larrys, once again, just do such a great job at distracting those single target defenses. Those Larrys are so strong when you find the right situation for those. And now we are dropping in another Larry Barrel, this time on the bottom side, Tesla. And it's going to take it out, and then it's just going to get blown up by another 2 Giant Bombs and a Log Trap. So I have basically triggered almost every trap on this base on this first opening attack, which is going to be really important for me because we are at level 4 swag. At this point, your spells are no longer for supporting your troops or getting down the base. Your spells are all for swag. So both of those heals are going on the river. Spoiler alert. The only 2 reasons you have for bringing spells at this point is 1, obviously, to swag on the river, but 2, because Supercell has made a change recently to where you can no longer enter a clan capital attack without bringing your full army. So unfortunately, you are locked into bringing all of your army camps worth of troops and your full spell loadout, but that's not a problem for a cultured swag heal individual like myself. Let's see how we're able to take down this base. I first see that there's a lot of places in the base where there's no splash coverage, so we drop a Larry Barrel here, here, and here. And then we also tank the Blast Bow with a Ram and a P.E.K.K.A. The P.E.K.K.A is going to walk this ring and tank the Blast Bow for our Hogs as they move in with the help of those Larrys distracting for them. And there's just 1 Giant Cannon left, and we're going to try to stun that on the back end. But you can see, because we triggered almost all of the traps on that first attack with, you know, all of those troops that just got blasted by Zap Traps and Log Traps, we no longer have to worry about just about any traps being left on the base. We just stun that Giant Cannon on the back end, and we have Hogs swarming the rest of the base. And there we go. We drop in our last 2 heal spells on the river, and oh my goodness, we were almost able to cover all of the surface area of water on this Builder's Workshop with our swag heals. So this is it. This is the pinnacle of swag. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. A lot of unorthodox attacks for me, as well as a lot of river healing. But that'll be all for me for today. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and take care.